Alrighty, something a little bit different this week. We're going to do a video fishing report. We are fairly pressed for time in the shop, so this is just going to be a quick way of updating you guys as to what's happening. Now, obviously, we have had some very strong northerlies this week, so the inshore and offshore scene has been pretty quiet, but we do always stress to make sure you're all up to date on your preventative maintenance. So fixing any rods that need repairing, any wheel bearings in your trailer that are a bit iffy, give them a look over, maybe grease them up, maybe they need a new one. Whatever it may be, make sure that you're ready to go so when the weather is good, you are straight back into some fish action. Now, obviously that's not good for the inshore and offshore scene, but what it is good for is Lake Mondrian. We've been seeing that really catch on fire this week with plenty of big fish caught. The Fishcraft, Dr. Shad, 150mm swim baits have been catching their fair share of fish. These are ready to go straight out of the packet. You do not need to do any upgrades to them, and they have been catching a lot of fish in the dam, just slow rolling. The bigger ones, you can even troll them in the main basin, which are going to come in handy in the next month or two when we get a lot more fish in that main basin. Now, we've also just got in the new Samaki Reddick DDS 90s. These are to extend on their ever popular DS 80s. Same style of lure, just a bit bigger of a presentation. So they're actually going to fit Lake Mondrian extremely well because the bonies in there are huge. So they're going to fit that bait presentation a little bit better. Now, there's been plenty of barra in the South Arm of B, and obviously Bird Bay and SDA Bay get absolutely filled up with barra, but they are a bit more pressured fish, so they can be a little harder to get them to bite. So I'll definitely be focusing in the South Arm of B, up around Hearts and Insane Bay as well, and even in the 2 mile, even though that's the opposite direction, there has been plenty of barra still in 2 mile. The Burnett has been fishing extremely well. We are seeing the summer species really come on the chew. In particular, we're seeing a lot of barra starting to school up around the areas near the Town Reach, Toffs Rocks, and even downriver towards Kirby's Wall. Obviously, these barra eat a lot of different lures, but for now, we are seeing the Samaki 125mm soft fibs work very, very well. They have been very effective when you're targeting these barra around the tide turn. That has been a key. It doesn't really matter what tide change is. Any tide change is a good time to target these fish at the moment. That is when they have been biting. We're also seeing some good numbers of blue salmon still being caught around these barra, especially in the Town Reach area, but even some threadfin salmon have been caught, some really good fish. So that's obviously quite a rare capture for our area. We don't get a lot of them, so that is pretty cool. Now in the Kalan, we are seeing some very big grunter being caught, and good numbers of them at that being caught around the mouth of the river, along the shallow sand flats, and even in the deeper holes. In particular, we are seeing curltail grubs work extremely well on these fish, with plenty of bycatch of flathead, around that 40 to 55 centimeter range as well, and that goes for the Elliott and the Baffle as well. We are seeing all these sort of fish caught in similar areas towards the mouth of the systems on the sand flats and drop-offs. You can catch these fish at any time of the tide, so just as long as you're getting out there, you're covering plenty of ground. Don't get married to one spot, make sure you're constantly moving. That's a good way to intercept these fish. Another lure I just wanted to touch on, particularly for Baffle Creek, has been the 4.1 inch cast Prodigy soft plastics. These are a very good slow roll presentation bait. They've got a unique tail design, and on the slow roll, they have an insane body roll. So these are really good for targeting those fish that are slightly deeper in the water column. So jack and barra, maybe if they're sitting deeper on a deep laydown or a rock bar. But I've also been using them a lot lately on the flathead in Baffle. They've been working really well. Lighter colors towards the mouth in that clearer water. Darker colors during that run at tide, or maybe fishing up the top and it's a little dirty. Prawns in the Burnett have been in really good numbers, so I'm not going to give away anyone's secret spots, but if you go towards the mouth of the system and look for deep water, you're going to find the boats anyway. There's been a lot of prawns caught, and really, really big prawns at that, so get into them before they drop their eggs and they're out of here. That pretty much wraps up our local area. Just get out there, have a crack, and get into some good fish. We'll see you next week.